What's up everybody, this is Jesse from Mullen Woodworks, and today we're going over how to make a tapering jig. This is my style how to make one. There's plenty of other videos you can check out as well to get an idea of how to make your tapering jig to fit your needs. Now mine is kind of large, it's 4 feet long. It was easy dimension wise to find lumber that size or plywood that size. I made it that long also because I wanted to make sure I could do any sort of legs for any table I wanted to do and make sure I could taper them. So for entryway tables, couch tables, things like that, I wanted to make sure my tapering jig could handle it. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. We got more videos like the trailer rebuild, other videos that are on here like the pergola and the DIY clubhouse, whatever you want. I got a bunch of different videos. Make sure you check those out. So we're gonna start by cutting the plywood. I already had a 4-foot section cut out, so now I just need to cut the width. I wanted the end jig to be close to 1 foot wide, and so I knew that I was gonna make it at least an inch wider than that. So I cut it around 13 inches, so that way I could flush cut it on my table saw after I put on the miter bar. After the plywood is cut, I start marking out exactly where I want to inlay the T-track. I'm using T-track from Rockler in this one, and I can leave some links down below in the description for you. I spaced out 4 T-track along the jig. Having 4 in there I felt like was plenty for making sure each piece is clamped down, plus having a stop at the back that I could actually make repeatable cuts. So after I marked them off, I went through and I used my router and I used a 1/2 inch bit, mostly because I couldn't find my 3/4 inch bit because I need to get more organized. And I couldn't find that, so I just used a 1/2 inch bit and moved the fence a little. First T-track was a little sloppy putting it in, but it still works. The other ones increasingly got better as I went in, and I just took my time with it and made sure it was as flush as possible. After I knew the T-track fit into the slot, I screwed them into place. Now, on this T-track with just 3/4 inch ply, all the screws I had went in too far and actually poked out the back of the sled. So I took my angle grinder and I actually grinded down the ends of the screws. That way it was completely flush. And with wax at the end, applying wax on it, it's not gonna have an issue whatsoever. So I just figured that's the best way to do it with making sure that it's still gonna grab the plywood, and when you clamp something down, it's not gonna pull the T-track up. So I'm gonna be using some Rockler miter bars. So I start by marking off exactly where I want those, and then I used a straight edge and clamped the straight edge to the piece of plywood so I know exactly where to line them up. So you can get a 4-foot miter bar, but I actually ran out, and so I had two 2-foot miter bars, and I actually just lined them up, screwed them in place, and I haven't had an issue with any catching coming in and off, and they've been completely flush. So it worked out really well. So next step is cutting off that plywood, making sure it's flush. It just makes it a lot easier to know exactly what kind of tapering you're gonna do, having it completely flush with the saw blade instead of having a gap. Now next step is putting wax all over the bottom of the jig. I did this because it helps glide across the table saw, and then it also helps so it doesn't scratch your table saw surface. I use it for all my jigs, and I use it on my table saw as well. That cast iron top, it helps a lot. That's pretty much it. I grabbed some Rockler clamps and I was ready to go. I used a stop, which I just used some poplar, 8/4 inch poplar, drilled the hole and put a T-bolt in there, and that is my stop. Man, it works really well. It's really simple. Well, that's it. I'm sorry that the video is so short and I didn't go into great detail. I actually wasn't planning on making a video for the tapering jig, and then I just used some of the footage I had, and that's why it's not crazy detailed. But check out all the other videos I have here on YouTube. Check it out on Instagram as well, which for daily content, which I'm more active on there than I am here on YouTube. So make sure you go follow me there as well. If you have any questions, make sure you shoot them down below. Check out my website, and everything that you'll need to know is in the description as well. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked my channel, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.